Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in town today talking U.S.-China relations. He and the Trump administration largely blaming the coronavirus pandemic on China. He spoke at Georgia Tech this morning, railing against Chinese leadership, accusing them of stealing American ideas and technology. Joe Ripley reports on how some view his talks as further straining our relationship with the country.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has held a series of talks on U.S.-Chinese relations. He brought his latest edition here to Georgia Tech. Pompeo took a hard stance on the influence of China's leadership, the Chinese Communist Party. He criticized U.S. foreign policy with China in openly trading with the country and accused China of stealing American ideas and technology. Pompeo's views define the Trump administration's adversarial approach to China, blaming the country largely for the spread of coronavirus.
Americans must know how the Chinese Communist Party is poisoning the well of our higher education institutions for its own ends, and how those actions degrade our freedoms and American national security. If we don't educate ourselves, if we're not honest about what's taking place, we'll get schooled by Beijing.
For some Asian Americans, the Trump administration's approach to U.S.-Chinese relations has only strained the tension with China even further. Stephanie Cho, the executive director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta, says these types of views can feel alienating.
Ethnicity is now being called out in a hyper-politicized way. That's also being tied to being a perpetual foreigner.
Also want to note the timing of Secretary of State Pompeo's visit. Already President Trump, Vice President Pence have had their sights set on the state of Georgia ahead of the January 5th runoff. Pompeo adding his name to the list as well.
And to watch Pompeo's full remarks, head on over to 11 Alive's YouTube channel.